Make some noise if you believe that despite some differences that we might have, at the end of the day, we're all brothers and sisters. We're all united. This next piece that I'm about to do was written for a poetry competition, a poetry slam that was organized by the CBC, and it was going to be broadcasted nationally. So I took this opportunity, right, to write about one of our brothers who was assaulted and pepper sprayed by the TTC police outside Dundas Station, Dundas Square, right? So in the theme of the whole competition was called Heating Up, right? So in the middle of the poem, I'm gonna ask for your participation. When I say the word also, you guys are gonna yell, "Felt the heat rise that night." All right? Let's try that. Also.
Felt the heat rise that night.
Excellent. Imagine the city you live in, the busiest intersection, one-way streets, 6 p.m. rush hour, smoggy weather, the stacked human nut bolts and screws that pull this structure together, each T tightly crossed, each dot well assembled. The underground TTC train closed its doors and began to make concrete tremble. Out of the ground flew a voice of dissent. A bolt that ran loose, an untamed anomaly, a sheep on reverse, a hole in a cage, a glitch in the matrix, a runaway slave, ran up the subway stairs, yelling for help, landed on the livest place there, so hip they call it Dundas Square. Circled by screens broadcasting prosperity, but no camera was there to catch the brutality about to take place. This voice of dissent that continued the pace, continued to yell. Went up to the crowd, tried to undo their spell, but blindly they stared as 2 TTC constables flew up the stairs, claimed that the suspect had not paid his fare. Just an excuse to tame his rage that was rare. His need to be free made them scared. Satellites zoomed in from space. Remote control security quickened the pace, jumped on his back, grinding the ground to his face, called him a dirty spick. Proved that this was motivated by race. Then they cleared in his eyes a chemical spray. He felt the heat rise from his eyes like being pulled into hell by surprise, like a prisoner wrongly accused tied to a chair as he fries. Y más lo apretaban like buried alive by a mountain of lava, like the soliloquies of immortal poets condemning hate, put to incinerate, leaving nada, like the last tree on earth searching for light. He looked at the skies as the swelling slowly shut down his eyes. But with resilience in place, his spirit extinguished the blaze, continued to plead for someone to help, but no one would wait. Faster they kept walking straight as the voice slowly melted, fading into the deafening silence submerged in the soundscape. His eyes were burning as the heat was rising. Indifference is holding its grip on us real tight. A voice of caution sounded like a siren. Unheard it slowly melted in the streets that night. Edmonton also felt the heat rise that night. Remembering Kasim Kakmak. Saskatoon also
felt the heat rise that night.
Remembering Melvin Wayne Bixby. Regina also
felt the heat rise that night.
Remembering Vernon Dale Crow, because Ottawa also
felt the heat rise at night.
Remembering Terry Morris, Luke Arbeck, Sebastian Nichols, Wayne Johnson. These are some of the countless names of victims who stopped breathing or had cardiac arrest as a result of being pepper sprayed and beaten, all swallowed by the ground. It might sound like a fictional tale, but why would I mess with your mind? Search victims of police brutality in Canada like I did and see what you find. Because the world also
felt the heat rise at night.
Billions and billions of dollars worldwide per year on military spending. Human rights up for sale everywhere when supply is quickly descending. It's a global disgrace while locally citizens seen as second class are trapped in a paperwork maze, getting maced, pretend not to see and keep driving. We pay legal costs for corrupt cops while victims with no coin get no justice. It's frightening. Multiculturalism becomes just a word when indifference and racism is thriving. We're dropping like it's hot. Dropping like it's hot. Who knows if I would have been there that night at Dundas Station. I probably would have frozen, watching my world crumble in front of me, frozen. Maybe like everybody else, I would have done nothing too. But when I saw his mother helplessly sharing his wounds by his side, the blood in his eyes made me bleed inside. It boiled inside me and it's still boiling tonight. I decided then that what took place that night, I would not let it slide. I promised to never think that there is nothing a person can do. If that voice would have been your brother's, the child who once held tight to your hand, coming to this land looking for refuge with you, I am sure you would have at least written a piece for him too.